Mikel Arteta certainly deserves his criticism for yesterday. Arsenal deserve their criticism. Not enough attack-minded, creative players in that starting 11. There is no doubt about it. Eze should have started, probably over Moreno in the middle. I think most people would agree with that. That extra bit of creativity, that extra bit of quality, that further bravery from Arsenal, even though they went a goal down, and that goal would probably have still been conceded. City weren't sitting as deep. They weren't parking the bus as deep. They weren't as low in their block, meaning somebody like Eze would have had that extra bit of room, that extra bit of space to have worked into in that first half. And maybe, just maybe, the equalizer comes a little bit sooner. I think, and I know you all agree, that is fair criticism. But what is killing the game is this hyperbole, this hyperbolic, over the top analysis. People are going as far to say there should have been 2 or 3 more attack-minded players in the side, which again, I think now you're going over the top. Now there is an imbalance. Yes, you can call that decision yesterday an element of cowardice. I certainly did it. But people are again going too far. Lies about the Arsenal mentality after they scored their equaliser. Lies that other clubs don't celebrate equalising goals. This weird standard that we're setting for particular teams and trying to create this narrative that that's how football is and has always been, especially at the elite end of the spectrum. It's a lie. It is an absolute lie, and we're going to prove that to you today. Plus, a really crazy rumor spread this morning about Noni Madueke as well, which again led to Mikel Arteta being attacked, which I thought was crazy if the injury rumor was true. But we're going to go into all of that on Killing the Game right now. Why is it called Killing the Game? Because this is about calling things out, which I think killing the game. It's self-explanatory, really. But I wanted to start off with the equalizing goal for a moment. The equalizing goal was a madness to me. It was a very well taken goal, and Arsenal should be praised for it. It's quite funny, actually, because I saw Gyökeres being trolled online. There's a lot of pictures. Oh, my God, look where number 14 was, because he was quite deep. He was offside. But it was him being so deep that actually partly led to City's line pushing up, because if they sat deeper where he was, if they were playing him onside, there would have been enough room for a through ball for him. So they had to push up higher to make him offside, but it enabled the space in behind for the ball from Eze. Martinelli's goal was brilliant. The goal was fantastic, and I can understand why the individual would be over the moon, why the individual would celebrate. That element for me, listen, I criticised Arsenal yesterday. Go back and watch the match reaction, and it was mainly Arteta I criticised, if I'm being honest. But celebrating the goal, I looked at it and thought to myself, why are people losing their minds? The first sort of tweets I saw, the first sort of messages, what the pundits were pushing, the media was pushing, TalkSport, Rivals, Arteta Outers, and all those guys, was nobody went to get the ball at the back of the net. Nobody went to get the ball out the back of the net. Well, that's been debunked. I'm going to play this video here. Playing the restart, but there was a player that ran and got the ball, and you can already see, by the way, by the time he's getting that ball, go back and look above him and just take the sound down. The angle this is at, the celebration, players already on their way back. So it wasn't a massively long-lived celebration, but an Arsenal player went and got the ball back and didn't join in. So again, that myth debunked instantly. The people spreading that lie should be ashamed of themselves, or at least not for addressing their lie now that it has been proven to be the case. And if you don't, by the way, no one knew because the camera angles didn't show us. So it was just a mad assumption out of absolutely nowhere. But what I also thought was interesting, I saw some really big, prominent football fans, some of them Liverpool, some of them Chelsea, but some really big, prominent podcasters, influencers in this space, pushing out some really interesting messaging. And this messaging was very simple. And I'm going to read this to you now. For some reason, it's not on my screen. Let me just find this now, because I think it's very, very important to remember it. This is what was posted. It was like, this is the difference between my club, Liverpool, and Arsenal. If Liverpool scored an equaliser with 7 minutes to go, there would be roughly 3 seconds of celebrations, nothing over the top. They'd all grab the ball and go on to get the winner. Just saying, this is the difference between an elite club and Arsenal. And what I thought was really interesting about that is everybody buys into it. Everybody goes, yeah, you're right. That's the standards. That's the right behavior. That's how you act with a real good level, high level of mentality. Yes, what you always hear. And sometimes you can be gaslit. This is a definition of gaslighting people. You hear it and go, yeah, that makes sense. Liverpool probably do that. Until you go and look at the facts. And the facts are last season, Liverpool versus Arsenal, so ironic, so beautiful. In the 82nd minute, the 81st minute of the game, so 9 minutes remaining, not 7, plus added time, which is normally 4 to 5 minutes. So you're talking the better part of 15 minutes. Liverpool score an equalizer. Mo Salah runs off. Again, the irony in this is so poetically beautiful, to the same corner flag as Martinelli and celebrates. Now, maybe the celebrations were a little bit shorter, but the idea that Liverpool don't celebrate scoring equalizers because they're so goddamn elite that they would never behave that way is just a lie. And it's these lies that are killing the game, because in that moment, you're allowed to celebrate. It wasn't a minute long or 2 minute long celebration like they'd won the game, but there was relief, there was ecstasy, there was this moment of, oh, thank God we got that goal. And it was an amazing goal. They're allowed to celebrate. It was 20, 30 seconds, absolute maximum. That time gets added back on at the end of the day. They recalibrated and they tried to get the winner. City maintained a bit of the ball. Didn't happen. But this idea that celebration is an indicator they can't win the league, that as an indicator is false. So you can say they're not good enough to win the league. That's a fair point. But connecting the correlation and causation, that type of celebration, that's the reason. Well, we know it isn't true, because last year's champions literally did the same thing last season. And that mentality, that behavior didn't stop them from winning the league. And I've seen Real Madrid celebrate equalizing goals when there's still time left to get another one. I've seen Manchester United do it. It is what it is. I saw United fans kicking off about it yesterday. We all ran around and celebrated with Kobbie Mainoo when he got his equalizer last year. No one was like, oh, Kobbie, disgraceful for celebrating that. No, it wasn't. It was about 20 seconds of celebration, absolute maximum. And again, we've got to stop killing the game by setting these new standards that are just unattainable, realistic, and take the passion and joy out of football. We really, really do need to get better at that. And what I also saw yesterday, what I thought was interesting, is, again, there was criticism for Arsenal, but no one can just stop at the standard criticism. The team probably wasn't creative enough. Martinelli probably should have come on earlier. There were certain individuals you could criticize. There was real criticism that I think Arsenal fans all accepted. First of all, you get the celebration nonsense we've gone through. Then you get City were tired though. City played on the Sunday, then they played again on the Thursday, and they only had a couple of days rest before they had to play again on the Friday. So Arsenal should feel embarrassed about this. Well, last year, and I remember this so clearly, when some Arsenal fans gave that excuse in the week that they drew with City last year, everybody told them, terrible mentality. That isn't what winners do. And it isn't what elite players and managers would push out. So the fans should also not push that message out. When Arsenal last year played Spurs, followed by a Champions League game away in Italy, by the way, not at home, and then went away to Man City. City, by the way, had 2 home games on the bounce and then an away game in London. Arsenal, fair enough, the first away game's also in North London, so they're not travelling much. Went away to Italy and then went away to, at the time, the champions of England. And if any of their fans dared moan about it, if Arteta, can you imagine Arteta or an Arsenal player, because Bernardo Silva's complained about the rest, can you imagine if they did it? No, it's not what the elites do. Well, again, this is another lie. It's a lie that is killing the game, because clearly City, the most successful team in England of the last decade, treble winners, 4-peat winners, Pep as their manager, they've come out and complained that they didn't have enough rest. 2 things killed and debunked in the space of the last 9 minutes. We've got to stop setting these unrealistic, stupid expectations around football. The media are doing a terrible job of doing this, because it kills the game. It really, really does. Now, speaking of nonsense as well, I'm going to play some footage for you just now, and then we'll go into the story. Take a look at this.
You got him every time, Noni.
So if you haven't seen that, this is Noni Madueke. I'll just put it on mute so that you don't keep hearing the same stuff. Limping at half-time. A massive, massive rumour this morning was created that there was a real fear that he'd done his ACL. That has now been confirmed and debunked by Ben Jacobs, along with multiple other journalists. I think Jacob Steinberg as well has also come out and said that there is some discomfort. There'll be a bit of time on the sidelines, but Arsenal have ruled out it being an ACL issue, which I think is really important. But what I thought was disgusting about this, again, there was rightful criticism for Mikel Arteta yesterday that he should be criticised for, that he should be reprimanded for by the fans, and soul searching should be done at that level. But we've had the ball, the halfway line. We've had the moaning about fixture nonsense. And this one, I started seeing people blaming Mikel Arteta. Oh my God, it's another player he's injured. Even if it was an ACL, those often are innocuous and there's no telltale signs leading up to them happening. To start, first of all, it was a lie. To jump on a lie and then start using an ACL, which could be horrific for a player, as a weapon to beat Mikel Arteta over the head with, I just thought was nasty, horrible, disgraceful work, especially by fans that pretend that they love Arsenal Football Club online. I don't see how you can love your football club and then would jump upon a fake rumor that had not been verified, start attacking your own manager and club over it, writing and posting nasty things online. And then again, just before I recorded this content, I went and checked all their accounts. A couple have deleted their tweets. No quotes, though. No quote tweets saying, I apologize, I got this wrong. I thought the manager had done this. I thought this had happened. Nothing. Just deleted or left there. And for me, there's a real problem in that. Because I think it's absolutely right to criticize your manager and criticize your club when they do things wrong. But imagine being wrong, slagging off your own club, but they're not retracting it or apologizing or addressing it to your followers that there was a mistake in what was printed or posted. I find that the irony is these same people are out there calling Mikel Arteta a coward, and I think there was some cowardly acts in his team selection yesterday, yes. But imagine you going around calling people cowards when you act in exactly the same way. It's kind of ironic to me. But look, as ever, do me a favor and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And if you could please share this content across your social media platforms, that would be absolutely amazing. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.